In Temecula, a city about 90 miles from Los Angeles, 3 members of a local school board elected in December 2022 formed a governing majority. Since then, they have limited how racism can be discussed and banned critical race theory from instruction. They enacted a policy requiring teachers to notify parents if their child was transgender or using new pronouns. And they banned Pride and Black Lives Matter flags from being hung in the classroom.
Encourage them to be LGBTQ.
For some Temeculans, these issues have been present for decades.
Shayla, you've lived here in the Temecula Valley for a long time, since the 90s. What was it like growing up in an area like this?
I went to the same school that my daughter goes to now. You know, there were many instances of racism, just bold out racism that we didn't understand as children, but today it's there, it's divisive, it's wrong. So now the teachers that are fighting for the same students that are going through the same things 20 years later, it's really disheartening. So of course we're gonna fight.
I have teachers that I know personally that have pride flags in their room or have helped various students and they get called a groomer. So as a student chaperone, all it's done is make me not want to live here. Someone's race is not political. Someone's sexuality should not be political. And I feel like that's what really harms our community, is those kind of thoughts.
What's it like for you as a mother watching your daughter go through all of this?
I've had to personally speak to a few adults and let them know, obviously she has a mother. It's frightening. I get anxious for her, I get scared for her. Even if one of those board members was recalled, it would dynamically change everything that's going on here. Obviously, it's not going to change the racial climate that's going on in Temecula. But it will change what's impacting these kids.
An effort to recall the conservative bloc of the school board is being led by the One Temecula Valley PAC. The committee was created by Jeff Pack, a one-time journalist who seeks to restore nonpartisanship to the school board. Its members include young parents, longtime residents, and even prominent Republican politicians. Each weekend, a group of volunteers collect signatures soliciting the recall.
All right, guys. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you, guys.
They need to collect at least 20% of registered voters in each board member's district, about 12,000 total. If they succeed, the recall will be put on the ballot. 2 new board members won their seats by double-digit margins. But the recall supporters say voter turnout was low, and things have changed since their new policies were enacted. A successful recall of just 1 member would break the majority.
I think more and more people are waking up to what the chaos that we've all sort of been privy to or first been in the front row for, and more people are coming on board. So I think it'll be a little bit easier doors today. I think the thing I need to remember too, and that I need to remember myself, is it's not about being right, it's about getting the signature.
What inspired you to start the One Temecula Valley PAC?
Panic. Historically this area has been conservative leaning, and we've always had conservative people in city council and school boards. But we've never seen this sort of extremist, politically partisan behavior and these policies that they're putting forth that are just so destructive to our district. For a long time, people didn't really see the repercussions of what a dysfunctional school board could do, but we're about to find out if we can't recall these people as soon as possible, because especially at the school board level, a failed school district is a failed city, right? If you identify as, I'll just say a MAGA Republican, maybe, you're toward those lines, and you also identify with a local church that's extremist, that spouts extremist rhetoric about a variety of issues, including LGBTQ issues, politics in general, then they're going to latch onto this sort of national playbook.
The school board's new conservative majority ran on a platform of giving parents the ability to override school and state policies around classroom instruction and activities on school campuses, like respecting students' pronouns or talking about systemic racism. They were powered to victory in their elections with help from the Inland Empire Family PAC, who spent about $62,000 to defeat the board's moderate incumbents. The PAC is led by Pastor Tim Thompson, a Christian nationalist pastor. Thompson, the founding pastor of 412 Church Temecula Valley, has called public schools, quote, Satan's playground. Law prohibits churches from engaging in any political campaign activity. Thompson said that is why he and his partners decided to start the PAC. It's one of his projects where he promotes anti-LGBTQ+ and anti-critical race theory ideology. The PAC is supported by other local far-right groups like Mom Army and Legsit, often with members who are neither parents of children in local public schools or residents of Temecula. They are part of a cadre of agitators traveling around Southern California, backed by conservative strategists and think tanks at the state and national level.
And we will fight for these children because it's a moral obligation. Boys cannot be girls, girls cannot be boys, men do not get pregnant, and all lives matter, not just black lives, even the baby in the womb. No scientific evidence, it's just educated people making the claim.
Jessica Tapia, a former Jurupa Valley Unified gym teacher who was fired for saying she would not respect trans students' pronouns, is a frequent speaker at school board meetings in Southern California. She is also a correspondent for Pastor Tim Thompson's YouTube channel, Our Watch. She and other hard right supporters of the school board recently attended a rally at the Temecula Duck Pond. It's one of the locations that volunteers have been collecting signatures for the recall.
Those three that a few people in the community are trying to recall, they have stepped boldly into protecting children. They have stepped courageously into the truth. And right now, the truth is being attacked. And the thing is, when people like myself and those board members step up and fight bad policies and bring in better ones and stand firm in the truth, evil gets upset over that. I stand with them in banning CRT from the curriculum, and here's why. Because from what I have learned about it, it teaches a victim mentality to children.
This is a nationwide issue, and people from all over, in your opinion, should be going all over to combat this war on children.
Yeah, absolutely. I know several other people like myself that travel and tell their story.
The traveling group of right-wing activists is determined to change public school education across the United States. But there are locals who won't give up the fight to stop them.
You have to do your best to raise your children to fight against that, to, echo against that. I'm fine with this being my home because there needs to be more of this. There needs to be more families. There needs to be more families of color here. So that might not end, but it's okay to fight and it's okay to stay here because that's never gonna go, but neither am I.